사실 본인은 자네에게 많은 고마움을 느끼고 있다네. 자네를 관리하는 실적을 인정받아 이 중앙본부의 팀장으로 전환 발령을 받았다고 들었어서. 본인이 자네를 담당한 이후로 한 번도 탈출하지 않았다고 하던데 설마 본인을 위해서 참으신 겐가?
They get along like a house on fire, which unfortunately is just as destructive as the metaphor implies. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm making this as Walpurgis not. They actually gave out the Steam Mobile Total Concurrent Players Celebratory Gift of Appreciation, which is a card that I don't need because I got everything in one try. Anyway, let's start off this episode by finishing our Uptie with Rodion. So, what does she get? First of all, she goes from 3 to 6 to 4 to 7. Not bad, but there are speedier. I guess she is kind of speedy for a tank. Arcana Pierce. If target has 6+, coin power +1. Flash power for every 2 protecting swords to a maximum of 2. Ooh, let's count this out. So we get 16, but throw in the coin power, and that becomes 19. Nice. And then she could always get up to 21 if she has enough protecting swords. Aggro to the leftmost skill slot to a maximum of 15. Ow. Whoa. Her 10+ deep tears consume up to 20 deep tears and deal stat consumed extra damage. If the target was defeated, gain half of them consumed by this skill. Inflict 2 sinking count and inflict sinking equal to protecting sword. It's not exactly stable, is it? Arcana, Tear and Pierce. Final power +1 for every sinking on the target. So, yes, this can roll a 0. The final power makes it rolling a 2 or a 20. Lose 15 SP on use, ouch. At 10+ deep tears, consume up to 20. If target is defeated, you gain half of deep tears consumed. It's not unbreakable, that's important. On hit, inflict sinking count. On hit, inflict sinking once per skill. That's because of the coin reuse effect, isn't it? So she inflicts 3 sinking, but then she loses it if she consumes the tear sharpened. Upgrade her skills, so she gets a 12 on Night Sanctuary. But that can become 14 with the conditional. She rolls a 16 with the power of justice. But that becomes 19 with the coin power bonus. She rolls a 10 down to a 2 for her skill 1. But it can become a 12 if there's enough sinking on the target. She rolls a 16 down to a 4. But it can become an 18 with enough sinking on the target. Combat start. The ally with the earliest deployment order at 15 or less SP gain 1 final power to minus coin skills. It didn't change her defensive skills though. Clashable Guard, gain a tear sharpened. Or Unbreakable. Wait a minute. It doesn't say anything about losing final power. So if the opponent does outmatch her, she can still hit back. Lose SP and gain 1 tear sharpened. So anytime she guards, she ends up gaining that tear sharpened. At turn end, she loses 15 SP though. So this is actually a very dangerous character to use defensive skills on. Anyway, Uptie so we can watch the story.
거야. 내게서 추출한 눈물과 별자리를 가지고 네가 나를 선택했건 그렇지 않던 간에 난 관리자님의 명령을 수행해야만 하니까.
The thing is, her swords still deal a lot of pale damage. I don't think I would want to use her own armor against it. The child's footsteps alone exude a crushing sense of melancholy. Every step insidiously seems to convey these distracting thoughts and palpable dissatisfaction to the very hallways of the welfare team. This sensation becomes even more blatant, more invasive, when she passes the once familiar and frequented containment unit. Why wasn't I chosen? Why didn't you choose me? Conveys this resentful heart. Hey, Miss Rodion, another busy day, right? Miss Rodion? Yeah? Hey, sorry, I was thinking about something. Are you sure you're okay? I've heard you've been pulling a lot of all-nighters lately. I guess I really do look that tired, huh? Yeah, the manager's been assigning me to so many containment units recently. Oh man, maybe you should talk to Mr. Chesed about this. I mean, it kinda doesn't make sense for them to be so neglectful of a welfare team employee's welfare, right? Even the Sephiroth have to answer to someone, you know. It's entirely up to the manager to decide which abnormality we get to work on. That's true. I've got the opposite problem. I keep getting assigned to the same abnormality over and over again, and it wasn't even that interesting. Most of the time she just doesn't say anything or just whines and moans, so I'm usually the one who has to talk. I can't really tell which one this could be. And whenever she did say something, it just never made any sense, you know? Saying stuff like she used to be a knight. Oh, he's the one getting the knight's blessing. Oh, yeah, right. Are you headed to manage 0173 again? Nah, ever since the abnormality gave me something, I don't know, the manager's not been assigning me any management tasks. You're the one who got the blessing. I'm not complaining, since I've been really tired as of late, but I just hope I'm not getting intentionally excluded from work. Want to swap schedules with me then? Oh, I can't possibly. You're the team's model employee, Miss Rodion. Couldn't even dream of surviving your packed schedule. I'm just not good enough for that. Sorry, I'd love to sit here and talk, but I really gotta get going now, so yeah, then go. Good luck with your day too. The child stares blankly in the employee's general direction as he slowly walks away. She wasn't looking at the employee. It's that floating thing above his head. Wait, that wasn't just... Oh no, they could actually see when they get given that out in the game. Oh dear. A sigil. A gift from an abnormality. It's the blessing. The blessing of a proud knight bestowed upon those she promises to protect. The blessing can provide highly efficient protection for the employee in battles against abnormalities or ordeals, but those are insignificant details for the child. All that mattered is that she wasn't chosen. What's so better about him than her, anyway? What did he do better than her to deserve this? Her mind, captured by a sense of inferiority, spirals endlessly with question after question of this nature. So she glares at him like she's trying to bore a hole into him. This child was transferred from a different team to the welfare team when it first opened. The reasoning behind the manager's decision was clear. A new VOV risk abnormality had appeared, the Night of Despair. To manage 0173, an employee of sufficient competency was needed. And she was indeed quite competent. It had been a while since her employment began, The sheer fact that she was still alive was a proof enough of her value. Thus, she became the first employee to manage O173. But her temperance stat was garbage. There were positives to this decision to pair the two of them together. The abnormality's ego gear was quite good, and it was a rather easy abnormality for the child to handle. However, the downside was that the reason this child found it easy to handle this particularly recent reticent humanoid abnormality 173 was that she felt free to share all of her thoughts with it. And that led to her developing this idea that they were kindred souls, that they were friends. Imagine being her, deprived of the blessing, the very token of that friendship. Imagine watching that very token given to someone else entirely. Maybe she simply spent too much time in that ego gear, enough to have her senses corroded by that cold, depressing sensation. That would have been better than whatever this was. Because the child would never have to feel this sense of betrayal toward that abnormality. The manager's decision, however, was quite precisely made. The child, who was quite exceptional, did not need the blessing. It was better given to a still fledgling employee to improve his chance of survival early on in his career. Which is why he constantly assigned the child to different abnormalities to prevent her from gaining the blessing. He knows. He already knows everything there is to know about this abnormality even before he assigns it to a containment unit. Well, let's continue on. That detail is not of much importance anyway. What matters is that there was no way for the manager to explain his thought processes to the child. The other employee, much less competent than the child, ended up a cold, dead corpse in the merciless conditions of this company. In a while, and when the abnormality escaped, the hollow pride that she still sought to protect someone broken, it encountered an employee with an icy glare. No, her old friend. You've become so twisted you can't even return my greeting. More of that boring, old, useless self-loathing over failing to protect that kid, isn't it? That's just what you are, what you do, after all. So why didn't you just choose me? I wouldn't have gone out like that kid did. Not that pointlessly, anyway. A wailing cry tears across the very space itself. A reply, or an expression of wrath, stung by her words. The floating blades soon gather around her. Gonna skewer me with your sharpened swords, huh? Fine. The child raises her own blade in preparation. The same blade as the one floating around the abnormality. Still, it hurts me deep inside that you didn't choose me. But I realize that I can't mope around forever. I'm busy as hell. Got plenty of employees I've got to protect. A whole bunch of rookies just got hired, you know. The upper layer's doing even worse. Miss Mouth is finally about to snap from the crushing workload, apparently. They say she's been acting stranger and stranger as of late. Did someone... I bet they're winding up for a dusk. That'll be what our next lobotomy core Walpurgis night is about. So I've got to get up there and help them out. I don't have any more time to waste messing around with you. The child bites her lower lip, determined, and assumes a fighting stance. Sure, I don't even have a smidge of pride left, but that doesn't stop the burden on my shoulders from growing, does it? So, I'm gonna live up to that responsibility, at least. Let's go home, 173. The child will probably survive the suppression effort. She'll succeed at it too. But her suffering will continue, and the sense of gloom will eat her alive. Her unusually high level of attunement with the ego gear makes her stronger, but allows for deeper corrosion. And the longer she wears it, the more resonant the abnormality's voice shall be in her head, torturing her. It is inevitable, even still. She will work herself to the bone and fight on to take responsibility for the tasks that are given to her. Because that, in her mind, is the only way for her to be chosen. if such a thing even happens. Fitting, isn't it? Her distorted thoughts, they fit this cold, cold corporation so well. That's why we don't have a welfare team captain bonus in the event, isn't it? Because it's not been open long enough to do that. Anyway, let's do it. Okay, so let's think it out. We have to use the new IDs, that's just non-optional. And since we're using those new IDs, we should probably use a syncing team. Let me double check. Where is it? PS weak. I'm going to assume PS damage, so we're bringing in the Mole Boatworks.
복제팀의 협조가 필요한 거지. 다들 연장 챙기죠.
Although it's also a bit of a charge team, isn't it?
걸맞는 곳이어야
명령하실 때까지 자리에서 대기하겠습니다.
관리인가?
Oh, no backups allowed. I see.
이 소리는 폭풍인가?
불청객을 맞이할 시간인가 보군요.
관리인가? 아니면 애도인가?
I don't think there's going to be ads, so Dicey wouldn't be that useful.
잠수 준비 끝.
How's the taste? Said they brewed it with tea leaves Zi Shun gave us. It's called Baiho Yinzang or something, I think. It's a nice cup of tea that goes down easily. Not as good as Ziren's though. Yeah? Cool wind of Dangguan blows under this pavilion. Now that we've survived another huge incident, I was planning to hold some consultation sessions with the sinners like I always do, but I wasn't sure when Mephistopheles was coming back, so I decided to conduct them outdoors. Well, a change of scenery can be nice from time to time. As much as I'd love to be part of that discussion, this thing didn't come with a mouth. That must be a sore spot, Dante. You've expressed that feeling before, remember? Whenever we were snacking together, you'd say things like that. You gave up on the complimentary food from the warp train to Rodion too, and you must have been curious of its taste back then. Well, you know, it's not all that bad. I think I'd feel regret and sadness. It's kind of tragic almost. Ever since Honglu severed the cycle that bound the hierarchs of Dangguan and sealed the Xianren in their temple, he's been making a lot of expressions that I hadn't seen before. He keeps getting pop-ups in the side of the complaints of the latency issues. Moreover, lately I've been getting the impression that he's actively been trying to express his feelings and thoughts, even for things his past self would have simply accepted as is. Like an old dam breaking, it's fresh spring water surging to freedom. I can't give you a mouth, but you can trust me to give you a very detailed explanation of flavors. so feel free to ask me anytime. Yeah, thanks. And honestly, I think that's just a good thing. Especially because, more so than anything, I could sense that Honglu was genuinely enjoying these moments. I think I can safely mark him down as experiencing very positive changes in my consultation note. Though I'm not sure if any of that will get through to you, given that you probably don't even remember the taste of food anyway. Let me change that to started on a path to achieving some very positive changes. Excuse me, manager. That's when Sinclair suddenly rushed up to us on the pavilion. What's going on? I know you're in the middle of a consultation, but there's this huge big as the house truck by the entrance that's... The point is, I think you might have to come see this. Why clock Ed? Is that... The truck was indeed massive. It certainly did live up to all the fuss Sinclair kicked up. But... ain't that something, huh? It didn't seem to me that the other sinners were all that concerned about it. Is everything okay here? I hope it's not another attack on Dongguan Yan. Huh? Nah, it ain't. Well, we did suspect it at first, but it's alright. It's because no one on the bus knows how to observe. It's about the details, get it? Look, it's right there. The company logo. Where? Seriously, it's right there. In that corner over there. Ishmael pointed to something on the vehicle, irritation clear in her voice. I stared really hard at whatever she was pointing at and managed to find Limbus Company's logo painted on the bus. It was the size of a palm. They were this close to chopping their truck into a million pieces when I pointed that out. Gotta say, I'm impressed you even managed to make out what that is. Doesn't look like anything other than a smudge to me. I guess eyesight's really the first thing that goes with age. I mean, it's kind of their fault for making it so small and inconspicuous, you know? That's because it's not a public-facing vehicle. Sword walked in our circle, dusting her hands and brushing past a few disgruntled words. This is a research vehicle used by the LCE department. You've used this one before, remember? Extrapolating from the material and colour of the truck's cover panel, it can be determined that it is the same transportation device used for the regular checkup. Right on. Ever since you used it to safely arrive at LCE, we've been using it to move the LCC base around. Hang on, does that mean we were your guinea pigs? And guess what? Just today, when we opened the truck to transport a different team... Wait, don't ignore me! Instead of answering Heathcliff's question, Sword walked up the truck and swung open its rear doors. In it, we saw the same mess of machines we saw back then, and... Hey, this light. The now familiar green light. I see. Sword, has there been any further modifications to the vehicle since then? Well, I'm not certain on the details, but LCE's chief research... Hohenheim? Yes, him. Are you two well acquainted? They're bitter enemies. Not very well, but I do make an effort to remember his minor yet numerous mistakes. I see a small smile there. She sounds oddly happy. Anyways, according to the research report he gave us, the vehicle's been modified to allow for universal use across other departments of Limbus Company. LCB's bus, Mephistopheles, right? The report said something about using the back door of that bus as a reference to equip this vehicle with various functions, and that explains why this phenomenon is taking place here. Walpurgis night. Yet, how is this possible when we sit astride the bus seats? It is not a theoretical impossibility. Certain major parts of the technology forming its engine have been shared with Hohenheim. It is within the realm of possibility that the engine's influence may be transferred there as well. However, the means by which it has affected this vehicle has to be studied. It seems to comprehend our absence and the subsequent separation from the bus. Could it mayhap be reacting to the presence of a golden bough? At this moment, Mephistopheles is currently boarded by Virgilius, Sharon, and various other members of the LCCB, including Pilot. Therefore, if they have travelled far, your conjecture may be true. Or, there exists a flow that ensures our encounter with the Walpurgis Knight, regardless of the environment surrounding us. Perhaps. We can't say that it's because it's fan service, but we really want to say that it's because of fan service. Force talked to herself, staring pensively into the distance before turning towards us again with mild resignation. Lead the way, Dante. If it has found us, it must rightly be observed. Ah, I knew it. It's the former Elcor's turn. Huh? What do you mean, knew it? Ah, Heathcliff opened up a betting pool about where our next Walpurgis Night location is going to be. A betting pool? Alright, what did I say? Pay up your gits. You told me it was just about time the patterns changed. No, wait, but it was just the right time to bet against the odds. By the looks of it, the bet seemed to have been about whether this Walpurgis Night would take us to the library or to the Lobotomy Corps headquarters. Well, it's a good thing I didn't bet, because I would have bet for a repeat or somewhere new. Hey, something about this place seems a bit different from the other former Elcor headways we saw in the past. Didst thou sense it as well, Major Esquire? Ho ho, 'tis familiar, yet unfamiliar indeed. A stage for a play, almost. Seems it's gotten wider too. It's still the same long and narrow hallway, but it's slightly wider. While it is unknown as to how many days have passed in these headquarters. 26. Prithee, repeat what you have said. No, this subject can be discussed later when its veracity becomes clearer. Sharing the current circumstances of this place, we find ourselves at the Lobotomy Corps headquarters of a certain day, at its central command to be exact. I did catch the top left corner changed just a bit ago. The very center of the middle layer. Then the ones we've visited so far must have been in the upper layer. Correct. It is said that the Department of Lobotomy Corporation headquarters were progressively unlocked with the passage of time. According to the reports, when the headquarters crumbled and fired that skyward light, it was... Indeed, it appears that with every visit, we find ourselves at a further point in time here. As soon as the current day can be pinpointed, we might even be able to experience that day. Perhaps, then... Well, that didn't take long. We're here to take care of some old deal or something again, aren't we? Hey, I'm not complaining. We've kind of been loafing around and doing nothing while Jia Zishun left for that grand conference to decide the future of Dagwanyan or something. But we have so little time. I must prepare a more intense pro-training regime to make up for lost time. Whichever it is. It'll be FUN. What's with everyone waffling on about? Cue the Sephira. It's an angry one this time. Yeah, what did you expect? Some other voice speaking through the central command PA system other than Tifreth's? Tifreth, the employees are confused. Please explain the situation to them. Huh? There's two of them? Yes. Yes, I'm also Tifreth. The central command team, unlike other departments, boasts a rather significant size. It is large enough to have been managed in two areas, A and B. It is said that is why they have two separate Sephiroth managing this department. Yeah, and it's a lot, even between the both of us, which is why it's up to you to be more thorough. We can't even tell which one it is, so I have to just make it more... I just have to make wild guesses. Yeah, bring out the ordeal already. What are we destroying this time? Like I said, what are you all waffling on about? There's been an abnormality containment breach. The whole company's about to go belly up because everyone else is off trying to suppress the mess on the other side. Then, the alarm that was blaring all throughout the company suddenly went quiet. Oh no, the second warning. Ah, great. Look what you did, you bunch of slackers. Get to our headquarters now. Deal with the blue entity. Second warning is what would trigger a Queen of Hatred cooperative breach.
아, 저건 좀 복잡하네. 솔직하게 말할게. 나한테는 좀 어려워. 이건 너희가 해결 못해도 이해할게.
Okay, so let's have a look at these buffs. Modify skill pool. Modify skill pool. Gain 1, skill 3, lose 1, skill 1. Increase the amount of burn, bleed, rupture, sinking, or tremor inflicted by 1. Includes unique status effects. Increase the amount of poise potency or charge count, including unique charge gained by 1. Instead of panicking or corroding, reset SP to 0 next turn, once. Base attack skills with 2+ attack weight deal extra damage. On kill, gain ego resource affinity based on what we gained and 1 to all other affinities.
나중에 이야기할까?
Welfare team model employee. Increase burn, bleed, tremor, rupture, sinking. Instead of panicking or corroding, reset to 0. If this effect is applied to... Ooh! Gain pierce damage up each turn! Cool! Okay, but what's she actually doing? Cascading Despair. If target is sinking, gain coin power. Inflict cold black tears equal to the number of remaining coins. Gain clash power down. If hit while having this effect, lose stack times 2 SP. But doesn't trigger for cracked coins. If Queen of Hatred reduced this effect, heal SP. This cannot reduce below -40. This might actually be a negative coin team run. Inflict cold black tears equal to number of remaining coins. If the target has high SP, gain base power. And this rolls a frigging 16. Or 13. Take less damage from burn, bleed, tremor, rupture, and sinking. When hitting with an unbreakable coin, it doesn't consume, count, or activate sinking. This is gonna be rough! With love, hiya! No clash win. We should be able to handle that. Oh, that was a mistake, I think. Well, okay, that was several mistakes, but I think the thing that's a proper concern is that he just lost SP because he reloaded. This one's kind of elaborate, huh? Her floating swords are so hard to parry. It's got such long reach, it's so thin I can hardly see where it's... Ah! As if to prove Sinclair's words, the Azure abnormality fired another volley of thrusting swords in our direction. Just as we braced... Hiya! A rays of pink light coalesced before Sinclair, materializing, before someone rushed onto the scene and parried away the flying swords. Her again! Leading right into the action the moment the second warning goes off. Huh? You're... Sorry I'm late. Here comes Magical Girl!
사랑과 정의의 이름으로 지금 아직 평소보다 의욕적이야. 이런 분위기는 흔치 않아서.
Mainly targets the Knight of Despair. Targets the ally with the most cold black tears.
뭐 나쁜 건 아니기도 하고.
Wait, what's she doing? Okay, we need to look this up. Sub-targets ally with the most cold black tears. If there are no one, sub-targets the ally with least HP. Inflicts 0 damage, does not affect sinking or cold black tears against allies. Remove cold black tears from sub-targeted ally. Heal an ally, or inflict rupture on the enemy. So she can actually help out, provided she wins that clash. Consume all hysteria. Oh dear, Dawn is very upset. Actually, let's preserve. I need Forced's passive online ASAP.
일단과 말. 손끝이라도
Oh no!
깨려는 거 있다.
You know, I probably should have looked at more of her passive and skills. That might have been a mistake.
하나 필수.
제압 개체에게 맞는 정상적인 공격이야. 잘했어. 키테리트. 당연한 걸 한 것 가지고 굳이 칭찬할 필요 없어. 무슨 일 있었던 건가? 제압 작업을 하기 더 수월해지겠어. 기회를 놓치면 바보 같은 짓은 하지 않겠지?
Upon entry, apply one power up to all sinners, cannot be staggered. If the target of a Arcana Slave hit has Weathered Knight, wind suppression at turn end. Take 100% damage for this turn. In the end, I'm just like the others. If the target that has Arcana Slave does not have Weathered Knight, apply What Use Am I to all allies. Lose a lot. Just at 10 plus justice, lose 10 of its count, gain 1 justice, love justice potency next turn. At 3 love justice potency, inflict rupture count as well as rupture. Okay, with love. In the name of justice. Oh, gain 10 love justice. Arcana beats. Arcana Slave. Does not deal damage against Sword of a Forgotten Knight. Ends turn when hitting enemies with Weathered Knight. Gain, I used too much power. Turn end, escape from the encounter. Exhausted and unable to move. Reduce target's HP to 100 minus Crumbling Pride times 33. Oh, okay, I see. We need to do something about her weathered swords. Helpless Tears. All skills gain attack weight and become unbreakable coins, and inflict extra sinking potency. Frick! Actually, no. If we can get the... Unbreakable. River of Despairing Tears. Target's Cold Black Tears gain Clash Power. When Clash lose, this deals way less damage and cannot stagger. So what can I do here? Okay, it's actually dominating for some reason.
나아가주게.
Oh, she has a lot of protection and shield now, doesn't she? Oh, that was a bad time to go through all that nonsense.
제압 효과가 굉장히 좋았어. 기록적인 피해량인 것 같다.
Yeah, this is actually kind of messing us up, isn't it?
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
뭐야 이 수치는?
Looks like I'll have to use it. Combat start. Gain chanting.
잠깐. 진짜? 왜 부서팀장을 안 달아줬지?
Looks like I'll have to use this. Gain chanting Arcana Slave. Gain... Okay, how does this work? At 3 stack, gain 20 speed and uses Arcana Slave next turn. We have to stop that skill, definitely. Okay, Fluid Sac might actually kill this. Actually, what are the weaknesses? Weak to Envy and Gloom, but there's other things that they resist. Mark of Villainy. Take more damage from Don Quixote. Oh. Okay, so it is going to hit this one. That's good.
사랑보다도 푸른 달, 사랑보다 붉은 달. 만만찮겠군. 우리 하지. 야! 아르카나 세이버! 이것도 받아보시게나. 않지? 이미 관찰 기록이 있는 유형대로만 공격하면 되잖아. 관찰 기록을 잘 읽은 것 같아.
5 damage! Although it's still terrifyingly close to a stagger, isn't it? Don't give me a heart attack like that. Oh,
속에 파묻힌 그대의 이름을 걸고 나 여기서 빛을 맹세한다. 뭐야 이 수치는. 아까 어떤 직원이 제압 개체에 한 번에 입힌 피해량이야. 잠깐. 진짜? 왜 부서팀장을 안 달아줬지?
I need to avoid that unbreakable coin, I think. She's going to flip She's going to flip elements after this turn, I think. Oh, I forgot to equip her fancy new attack. Ooh, but that would be kind of dangerous, wouldn't it? Oh wait, no, they break even. It's fine. Envy, Pride, Gloom. Crumbled Pride. Oh wait, I get it! If they don't have Weathered Night, we have to destroy all of these ASAP, so
나아가주게.
아르카나 세이버!
직접 발견주마.
she actually loses protection for each time we take those out, doesn't she?
조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것을! 뭐야 이 수치는.
Okay, we absolutely have to destroy this. We have to destroy this one this turn.
진짜? 왜 부서팀장을 안 달아줬지?
It's going to hurt a lot, but at least we're going to keep them from staggering, I guess. We might stagger her this turn, but as long as we can kill this thing, we're fine. Actually, let me check this. If a sword with helpless tears reaches 0 HP, it stabs the knight. If there is an enemy with chanting Arcana Slave, prioritize that unit. This unit, it cannot drop below 1 HP when it does not have a helpless tears. If it does, then it heals back to full. That's straight out of the Library of Ruina encounter.
이 땅과 만인에게 손끝이라도 대려는 자가 있다면 아르카나 피트.
I think the phrase here is fuck you a lot. Oh boy, she did not have any tolerance for that spear. Sadly though, because this seems to be a time limit fight, we aren't going to have any solo strats here.
무슨 일 있었던 건가?
Arcana Slave!
피해려나? 잠깐. 진짜? 왜 부서팀장을 안 달아?
Ends turn when hitting with someone with the withered knight. Reduce target's HP to 100 minus crumbling pride times 33%. All that remains is the hollow pride of a withered knight. Take 100% damage for this turn. The knight who wanted to redeem herself by saving others was now dishonorably called the Knight of Despair, forgotten from the people's memory just like the others. Okay, observation logs. Cool, but we can't look at that right now because we have to finish this encounter.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
아르카나 플레이! 당신 그래도 이제야 회사가 정상으로 돌아갔네. 이번 제압은 끝이야. 너희들도 고생 많았어. 티페리트, 너도. 언젠가 우리도 모든 게 끝날 때가 오면 좋겠네. 그때가 되면 휴식을 기다리며 고향의 노래를 부르고 있겠지.
I feel so bad, but she won't be a threat to you now. Art thou verily a veritable magical maiden? Heh, of course I am. I'm a magical girl fighting to vanquish these evil arcana. Oh! Then this magic in the legendary codices does exist for truth, and thy most fashionable costume must be forsooth together the magical powers. Don Quixote, calm yourself. Huh? Where are you guys going? Forced somehow managed to precisely snatch Don Quixote's wildly flapping arms mid-motion and drag her away from the magical girl and back to our group. Wherefore didst thou drag me from this consultation of great significance? I have mountains of questions to ask her. That thing is no magical girl. What is with thy conspiratory voice and this... Oh? 0104 risk level 4. It is a veritable abnormality, dubbed the Queen of Hatred for recording purposes. 5? that maiden there is an abnormality, yet she speaketh and appeareth just like a human. And to label someone whose sheer appearance exudes justice Queen of Hatred? I believe that it has impressed upon you many times in the past that abnormalities should not be judged by their exteriors. Indeed, they possess the sense of self. They think and they feel. Perhaps, by the head's standards, they may meet the criteria of what is considered a human. However, that is an abnormality, no more, no less. We slowly turn around to look at the blue-haired thing, compelled by Faust's stern tone. But it was just there, humming a light tune, swinging that staff around. Oh, the lights. There's a lot of dead clerks. Wonderful! Looks like I managed to protect the peace once again! And when the red light turned off, the alarm stopped blaring in our ears. It puffed away with the same pink swirl of light she first appeared with. This is annoying. Why did that abnormality have to be contained at our department? It couldn't be helped, Tifereth. Not even the manager knows which abnormality will appear at the headquarters. Yeah, that's true. But she just gets on my nerves, you know, always showing up at the tail end of a huge mess like the second warning, barely doing anything to help, leaving the scene like she did something. And you know how she completely loses it unless we baby her all the time, right? This is what happens when you pick up Queen of Hatred and then don't beeline for Gabura's department. Tifereth, the mic is still on. Yeah, so let them listen. The employees have to know that this abnormality is still an abnormality at the end of the day, I guess. Her management appears to be quite the source of stress, it seems. Yet, aught is odd here. The maiden hath assisted us dearly in our battle, did she not? To suggest that she is hardly of any help is preposterous. Please review this document. It is a consolidation of management reports for that abnormality from the former LCorp. Fortunately, it seems that an extended period of management experience has left quite a detailed report behind. Damn. She wasn't kidding about having to baby this one, huh? The sinner's expressions all start to turn rather sour the further they read along the report. I skimmed through it and looks like she's got this compulsive obsession that she always has to be on the side of justice. She grows more and more hysterical the longer a peaceful period lasts. What is her problem? Got anything to say to that, oh great scholar of fixers? Indeed, 'tis quite different from what I anticipated. As fortune should have it, we did not encounter the mutated form of Queen of Hatred today. However, as they also possess such a thing as a psychological stability or sanity, it seems that employees assigned to this abnormality had the responsibility to keep it at a higher levels at all times. It cannot have been easy to put up with humouring a monster in human skin. At least humouring them is the extent of the required effort at this point. You are implying that the management of abnormalities entails something far more complicated than simply calibrating their sanity at a reasonable level. Yes, that is correct. Oh boy, the ones that have escape conditions for getting low or high, those were the absolute worst. Although, on the flip side, Silent Orchestra wasn't so bad to suppress if you knew it was breaching. It seems that this headquarters is yet to extract a larger quantity of abnormalities. A moment, if you will, to say that they extract... He furrowed his brows and started, noticing a strangeness in her choice of words, but... We already found ourselves returned to the mess of machinery that was LCE's vehicle. It seems this is where the scenario ends. Dante? If there may be further information that can be garnered from this experience, repeated visits to this Walpurgis night is also recommended. Okay, got it. He approached Faust to continue his earlier question, but Faust only shook her head in response, as if to say that she wasn't certain or that she couldn't tell him just yet. to me, someone who doesn't even know what's going on with the company they're working for, all these stories from the former LobCorp and library are filled with nothing but confusing mysteries. But something about it makes me feel as though everything that happened in those two places are at once foundations and clues to what we are going through. Maybe I can even use these moments to understand the stories I've forgotten, the purpose of this company I work for. So, well, who's up for a second run? Let's, like Force, focused on looking for those clues left behind. Alright, so before we wrap up, let's look at what prizes we got from that run and what prizes we could get.
보람과 세상의 아름다움에 대해 들어본 적 있는가? 없어도 전혀 상관없다네. 지금 우리가 보는 경치가 바로 그런 것일 테니.
Use Arcana Slave to suppress the Night of Despair. Oh, clear the encounter with Queen of Hatred taking less than 3 hits. If I'd realized that I was going to kill that sword, then I would have intercepted more attacks. Complete the encounter without letting Sword of a Forgotten Knight revive 1 or more after the... Okay, so that one's a damage focus one. We have to kill them in order. Complete the encounter surviving and defeat with the captain that defeats 3 swords with helpless tears. Complete the encounter with the captain surviving and 3 or more charge potency, including their unique charge. The captain needs to survive and take less than 8 hits, which is going to be tricky given that they have extra skill slots. Have the team of welfare inflict a certain amount of sinking or rupture potency with skills. Complete with them taking less than 8 hits. Use minus coin skills 3 times an encounter. Clear without any allied deaths or any allies reaching negative 45 SP. Or without allies reaching 20 in cold black tears. Alright. Use Arcana Slave to win. Queen of Hatred takes less than 3 hits. Never let them revive. Heartbreaking, heart-tearing, heart-piercing. Oh yeah, that's a reference to Library of Ruin, alright. Have the Central Command Team Captain get all the kills. Central Command Team survives and gets to 5 charge potency. Central Team Captain has to take less than 5 hits. Welfare Team Captain has to inflict 20 sinking or rupture. Have Welfare Team employee clash against once for each. Complete the encounter with the Welfare Team model, surviving and taking less than 3 hits. The fact that there are unbreakable coins is kind of annoying. Use minus coins, clear an encounter. Clear encounter without any allies reaching this amount. Clear both easy and hard. Okay, so until next time guys, take care.
이 친구의 영담을 듣고 있다 보니 벌써 점심을 먹을 시간이 되어버렸지 뭔가. 아, 배가 고픈 줄도 몰랐네. 저기. 이번에 말해줄 건 진짜 더 재밌는 거야. 내가 지난번에 아르카나에게 기습을 받았을 때인데. 잠시만 결식하겠네.
This isn't the first time we've had a different character chiming in to someone's secretary portraits, but this is definitely more often than normal. So yeah, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.
아니, 세상은 꼭 선과 악 두 가지로만 구분되진 않는다네. 모두가 혼재된 선과 악을 지니고 있지. 그러니 악이 없으면 자네의 존재 이유가 없을 거라는 그런 슬픔만은 하지 마시게.